Welcome back. This would hopefully be a very interesting video today. I decided to make cornmeal soap. Now, it's something that I actually wanted to do quite a while. I've got this old book, So Maak ons Seep. This is how we make soap. It's a South African book. It's been about, I think, 40 years old already. And it contains the most interesting soap recipes in here. There's some really weird ingredients sometimes. So we are going to start with the cornmeal one, and then I think we're going to work through a few different ones during the year and see how they're going to turn out. Okay, so I am using, let me just get everything ready here. Okay, I'm going to adapt this recipe. So this recipe is the corn porridge soap, or the cornmeal soap. That is inspired from the Mielie Meal Seep number 3 in this specific book, So Maak ons Seep by Jerry Maritz. So the things that I'm going to change from this, okay, firstly, they made huge batches of soap, like in gigantic. I'm going to make it smaller. They just use some animal fat like tallow, lard, something like that. So I formulated my own recipe because I don't really like just using lard or just tallow. So I will leave that in the description box. Let me just quickly check here. Okay, what I've got here, I use some palm oil, tallow oil, coconut oil and canola oil. The reason why I use these oils were I'm trying to get rid of my palm oil. I've had some for more than a year now. It's going to get old. It's not something that I really use. It's something that I need to use up. So there's going to be a few more videos with palm oil in it. Palm oil and tallow both gives you a very, very hard soap, which I absolutely love. It increases the longevity and it gives you some creamy lather. Especially the tallow's got some stearic acid that creates that shaving foam-like kind of lather there. Then the coconut oil, obviously for the cleansing and the bubbles, it boosts those. And then the canola oil is also something that I've got here in the cupboard for a while. Canola oil is very much similar to olive oil regarding the properties. If you get high oleic, cold pressed canola oil, very similar to, sorry, I've got a frog in my throat. Very similar to olive oil completely. But if it is not a cold pressed oil, not high oleic, then the linoleic and linoleic acids are quite higher than olive oil, so you can only use a little bit of it. But that helps with the moisturization and so on in the soap. So those are the oils and fats that I'm going to use. So let's look at all the interesting ingredients that they add to this. Okay, they use paraffin in some of their recipes. This one's got paraffin in it. I do not think I want paraffin in my soap, so I decided I'm just going to replace it with glycerin or glycerine. I don't know what was the reason they put paraffin in there, but I just decided I'm going to leave it out, or I'm going to replace it with glycerine. Then they use spirits in Afrikaans. Afrikaans is spirits, I think in English is spiritus or something like that. That's the blue stuff that we buy in bottles to disinfect stuff and so on. Now in South Africa it contains methanol, which is actually poisonous if you ingest it. So I decided I'm not going to go with the blue spirits. I am going to use ethanol, which is a grain alcohol. Ethanol is safe to use on your skin and so on. So I decided for the alcohol in this thing, I'm going to use ethanol. I think mine is 95%, which will be 95. It is about 180 proof if we talk in proof. Then they use borax in Afrikaans, borax in English. They use it in eye drops and contact lens solution as well. So I just went on the presumption that it will be safe in a wash-off product. Then they use obviously corn flour. Now the corn flour, I decided I don't want to use the dry corn flour in my recipe. I decided I am going to rather make a porridge with it, because then it releases some of the starches and sugars and so on. So it's not just going to be a filler or exfoliator in the soap. It might just bring something a little bit more to the soap because of the sugars and so on. And then obviously lye and water. So yeah, that's the whole bunch of it. So they do not give really in-depth detailed instructions when to add what. I think this is more like a hand-me-down kind of thing. So I am going to just go with the flow and see what's going to end up here. So let's just start here. Okay. Over to the table. I have already pre-measured everything. I've got my lye and water. Okay, that's another thing. The lye and the water ratio, I decided on a 1 to 2, 1 part lye, 2 parts water. And then the 2 parts water, I split in half. I used 1 part of the water because then I've got a 1 to 1 lye to water ratio that I know I do have enough water to dissolve all of my lye in it. Then the other 1 part of water part, I'm going to put the porridge in, because then I know there's enough water for my recipe. It's not too much liquid that I'm going to add with, so that this is going to take a much longer time to cure. So hopefully it's just going to be a normal curing time. So okay, so here we've got our lye solution that I already dissolved. Then I've got my porridge here. So here is my porridge that I'm going to use. I don't know if I'm going to use all of it. This is my glycerin and my alcohol already measured and mixed. Oh, and fragrance oil. I decided because it's maize meal porridge. Honey and milk sounds like it goes with porridge. So I decided on my honey and milk. So as per normal, I already pre-measured my fragrance oil and I put it in my mold so that I do not forget to use it. Okay, and here is my oils. I already melted all of my oils. It is at 50 degrees Celsius. The lye is about 70 degrees Celsius. So yeah, half and half of that, we're going to end up with about 60 degrees. I think we are ready to go with that. So now I actually need a lower container that you guys can see what's going on in here, because I have no idea what's going to happen, if it's going to thicken up or I don't know. This is something new. Let me just quickly go fetch something where you can actually see what's happening in the pot. Okay, at least now you can see the pot here. Let me just transfer all of my oils in there. This is going to work so much better. Just need to use my spatula to get everything in here. Don't want to leave my super fat behind here. Okay, I believe that is the most of it. Okay, in here I must decide if I want to add the porridge to the oil or do I want to add the porridge to the lye. So I'm not sure which way is going to be the best. I think I'm going to take half the porridge and try to stick blend it into the oil. I think that might be the best way to get the stiff stuff in there. I'm going to add the glycerin and the alcohol, I think, last, because I don't know what the alcohol effect on the whole mixture is going to be, so I'm just going to put that one aside. So let's just get the stick blender a little bit closer and let's add some of this porridge. It actually became quite stiff. The oil is not too hot that it's going to cook it further. I think this is the right way to go. I might actually get everything mixed in here. stuff is sticky. Okay, it looks still quite oily, so I think I'm going to use all of it. Okay, are you going to stand up straight there and stand still? Okay, there we go. Okay, quite interesting. There's little pieces still in there. I don't know if that is going to stick blend properly into it. I'm going to give it a try a little bit more. I'm going to just see if I can get it quite smooth, because as you can see, there's little pieces in here. I just want to break them up a little bit more. Okay, this looks much better. There's still little pieces in there, but it's not as large. So I think this might be the way to do it. I think I am just going to take the stick blender out here for a moment. And then I'm going to add my lye solution slowly and just going to stir it in first to see what's going to happen in here. If this is not going to work, at least we learn something new. And I'm working quite warm here because, okay, it's not that much tallow, but usually tallow likes to be worked at a little bit higher temperature because of the stearic acid that can actually solidify and clump up. Okay, it is changing color, more yellowish, so it might look a little bit more like corn. Can't smell anything about it. It just smells like hot oil. So nothing funny there so far. Okay, let's go for this first stick blend in here. Okay, this is actually starting to look nice. I did not bring my container where I usually put down my stick blender. I'll just use one of these scrubs lying down there. And let's see. Okay, it's thickening up, so I believe the trace is happening here. It looks quite smooth and mixed in well. So let's get my mold closer, and I am going to add the alcohol and the glycerin. Let's see what's going to happen here. The glycerin is a little bit more syrupy. Alcohol, they usually add it to glycerin soaps, you know, the melt and pour. I believe it actually does change the melting point of the soap itself. So far this is not really mixing in very nicely. It's like it is laying on top of my soap and the soap is thickening. So maybe alcohol, adding it to your soap, not a good idea, but let's see if we're going to stick blend it in. Thickened up quite a bit. alcohol fumes is like in hectic on in this, but yeah, so if I start to talk a lot of nonsense, you know why. Because my eye's burning. This is like thick porridge now. It looks like I've got the alcohol mixed in properly, yeah. So now the big question is, will I be able to add some fragrance oil? Because this is also a new fragrance oil, never used it in soap before, so it might actually seizes up our already very thick soap. Although it doesn't seem like it's really seizing up, I do believe it might volcano. I think we are more to a semi-hot process soap, yeah. So I am not going to add it to my mold immediately. I am first going to check it out. I'll put this down like that. Okay, it is changing color. It's getting much more yellow. Okay, let's see where's our temperature at. Okay, this is 74 degrees Celsius, so there's definitely some chemical reaction already taking place, and it looks like it is separating. It is not staying together. So this is the interesting thing about soap making, especially if you try new stuff. I believe this one will definitely most probably volcano. It behaves very much like hot process soap. If you do hot process soap, it starts to split up again. So it's not solidifying, but it is definitely something is happening in here. So I am still not sure if I should add the fragrance oil. Why not? So here goes our milk and honey. I only work at 1.5% because I don't know the fragrance oil, how it's going to behave. I decided to go lower first. I can always add more, but you can't take any more out. It smells divine. It really does smell nice. I think I am going to try to stick blend this together again and see what's going to happen, because it does separate a bit. It's hard to burp it. It does make an air bubble. It's really hard to stick blend it. Okay, let's see. It blends together and then it kind of again separates. It's like I can actually stir it back in at the moment. Okay, let's see, temperature wise. 80 degrees, okay, 79, 80 degrees Celsius. We are going to wait for the volcano. I am quite pretty sure it's going to happen. Okay, so let's just give it some time. And once it volcanoes and you mix it back together again, then it should stay together. So this is going to be a little bit more of a rustic soap. I must say I love the yellow coloring in here. This is quite interesting. Okay, so let's see, buddy. Okay, now 77. I'm not sure. Let's just insulate it at the bottom. I do not like this in-between stuff, so you either volcano and go hot process or stay cold process. So I'm just gonna wrap the in a blanket and see how this is gonna go. Okay, while we're waiting for this thing to heat up a little bit more, 74, I don't know, some seems like it actually can, it's cooling down at the moment, but either way. Okay, tell me, in the messaging system thingy or YouTube, have you ever made maize flour soap before? Any new ideas that you would like me to do? Yeah, I haven't been on YouTube for quite a while. I had actually quite a lot of stuff planned for this year, very organized and so on, and none of that happened. I think I've recorded my first video when I was supposed to record my fourth or fifth or something like that. And I can't even really tell why I haven't been to YouTube. I actually started Afrikaans YouTube channel as well, that's containing a little bit more, not just soap making. So Afrikaans is my mother tongue. So yeah, I've been playing around there. I think I've got 4 or 5 videos up so far. And I think I've been just maybe a little bit too distracted or spread over places, because it's completely different setup than this. It's a different room, and yeah, now I need to move my stuff forward and backwards, and I don't always like doing that. So it might be that, I don't know. I don't really have an excuse for not seeing you guys more often. But that is what's happening. The Afrikaans channel, I'm not sure where that one is going. It's still just there. I think it's more a creative outlet in my mother tongue than anything else. It's not really as structured or planned as this one. This is more a little bit more tutorial wise. But I think the more vlog style is busy creeping in here as well. So please let me know. Do you prefer the tutorial teaching way or the tutorial vlogging? I don't know. Let's see. This soap seems to have settled. It's 77 degrees still. I think I'm just going to weigh out the rest of my fragrance oil and add that as well, because the fragrance oil obviously is not messing things up here. Where is my small little scale now? There. Okay, you guys move over there a bit. Oh yeah, I've got a blob of soap that fell on the table that actually solidified. Yeah, quite nice. That one can go into the bin. Don't really need that anymore. Okay, let's see. I have gone to the fragrance oil should have been 22.5 grams at 3%, I believe. So I still need about 10 grams here. I'm just gonna go there. This is a way that you can weigh stuff, pour stuff out of a larger container. Just touch something at the bottom, sticking past it. Then usually it does not end up on the table. 10, oops, tiny drop over 10, which is okay, because I'm supposed to use 22.5. So I think we are still in a very safe range here. Okay, there we go. I am going to just add this as well. And stir it in. It does not seem to separate anymore, so I think I'm just going to incorporate my fragrance oil properly here. And then I am going to pour it into the mold. I'm just going to see with the temperature wise if it's going to increase in temperature. If it does not, then it should not volcano. I was actually hoping for a volcano for some time, or a change. 73.4, okay, 74. It seems like the temperature is coming down. So if it's coming down, then it won't volcano. So let's just remove the towel underneath here. So we didn't need that. And yeah, it seems like things are settling down. Looks very much like all processed soap. Okay, let's see. There is our mold. And I'm just going to scoop and plonk it in there. Just get some there in the corners so that I don't have any air bubbles in my soap here. Excuse me, just going to whack it on the floor a moment. There we go, much better. Nothing that a little bit of controlled violence cannot fix. I must say I love the smell, and I don't know, this looks like a lot of soap. I believe it's because we added a whole bunch of porridge in here that actually takes up space. So I think that might be why they did it in the old days. I think it might have been kind of a money saving thing to stretch the soap. They've done all kinds of weird things. Okay, let's see. Okay, my mold is definitely going to be fuller than usual, but it might all fit in. It looks like it. Right, just add the last little bit. It is starting to set up quite a bit. Typically like hot processed soap. I'm just going to whack it on the floor again for a few times. Okay, there we go. All in there. It's already setting up. I can actually press my hand on it. It's not sticking to anything. And I will let you know how long it took to set up properly, and then we're going to do the cuts. Although I don't think it's going to be a very exciting cut, but I think the lather test, that's going to be quite interesting. So I will keep you in the loop as soon as this soap is ready. So anyway, see you soon. Okay, and we are back. It is not 24 hours yet, but it has set up quite nicely. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to wear gloves just for in case. Normally after 24 hours, soap should be safe to handle, even though it's not really good to use yet. And I am going to break all of those rules in anyway, because I'm going to sort of test it as well. It will definitely be better after a 6-week skier, as with all soap. But I think we will get an indication if this maize or corn flour soap, cornmeal, there's the right word. Although I think in different parts of the world, different names. I know the English call it porridge. We call it pap. So there's definitely different ways of talking about it. But anyhow, we've got a lovely new color soap here. Let's see. I think I just need to get these gloves on. Okay, we had some lovely rain last night. It's close nearing to winter. We are summer rainfall season, so it's actually kind of weird to have rain this time of year. But I must say I really appreciate it. I didn't have to water my garden. Okay, so the bright yellow turned into a more creamish color or peachy color. It's more peachy. I think the camera doesn't really pick up the color that I see here. It's a little bit darker on my side. The camera, it seems like much lighter. But anyhow, it smells delicious. The milk and honey is coming through quite well. So let's just cut it and see where we're going to go with this. Okay. It is quite firm already, although not as hard as I thought with the tallow and palm. Okay, the inside is still, let me just move this bit to the side here. and show you the outside versus the inside. The inside is much more still yellow, but I presume it's gonna get this color eventually. Okay, so there's the first one, and they're all gonna look the same. Okay, put that one aside. Let's just move it out of the way completely. Okay, and there we are. We've got our 6 bars of soap. It's much larger or higher than usual. So yeah, the maize meal definitely increased the volume. I don't know how much it's going to decrease while curing, but I think it's lovely soap. It's much smoother than I actually expected it to be. So yeah, let's do a lather test and see how this is going to perform in less than 1 day. So obviously, the reason why I'm doing the lather test now is most of my videos I don't have it in the video, because for me to keep different video files together is like the major challenge of my life. I do not have the ability to do that properly. So I decided from now on I'm going to do a 1 day after-made lather test. It will give us an indication of where we are at, and oh well, so be it. That is what it is. So let's go. There's our first bar of soap. I think I must just maybe move this a little bit back. Okay, now you might be able to see it. Okay, so let's just try it. A little bit of water. It is already starting to lather up very quickly. And to me, it seems like it is going to be more like a shaving foam kind of lather. I don't see really big bubbles here, but it definitely is soap. If it's a good soap, I will only be really able to tell within a few weeks' time. Ooh, it's slippery with plastic gloves on. Definitely more like a shaving foam like lather. It is not big bubbles. I can't really tell how it feels through the gloves. Let's just do our little scrubby thing. Okay, found it. So this is the plastic body scrubber. I don't really know what you call it. This usually gives me a little bit of a more of an indication on how much. Okay, here I can see much larger bubbles. So maybe it's the plastic gloves. Oh my goodness, look there. Here we've got larger bubbles. It's not as tiny and dense as I thought it's going to be. So, okay, now this is going to be much more bubbly than what I initially thought. Okay, to give you an idea, we've really got some larger bubbles in here. It's not as creamy if I use that. Usually, yeah, no, this is going to be more a nice fluffy kind of lather. So there we go. This is our cornmeal soap. I hope you enjoyed the journey with me on this one. It's quite new. I am going to try a prickly pear leaf soap as well, because that's another one that I used to make. Then there is, what's there? There's egg soap, prickly pear soap. There's another one where they use resin in it. I think it's pine resin. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find any pine resin. But I might be able to get tree resin from wild trees here. We've got a lot of acacia growing around us in the bush here. And since we had some rain, usually after rain, the trees will drip or weep some resin. So if I can find any resin, we can try that as well. And I'm not sure, there was a few other things as well that was quite interesting. Okay, and I will see you again in the next video. So please keep well, stay safe, and please like and subscribe if you haven't done so yet. It's okay. See you again soon.